Now, before we get to my money line picks and best bets for the NFL Conference Championship weekend, I wanted to let you guys know that, of course, if you are watching on YouTube or whether you are listening on audio, you can probably tell, and I have said this, that over the past couple of episodes, my voice is still not 100%. I am still getting over an illness. Now, there has been some NFL coaching moves. Of course, Mike Vrabel is the new head coach of the New England Patriots. Ben Johnson is the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. It sounds like Aaron Glenn is going to be the new head coach of the New York Jets. We know the Dallas Cowboys have let Mike McCarthy go, excuse me, which means we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Dallas Cowboys, the New Orleans Saints, and the Las Vegas Raiders coaching vacancies to fill. Now, if you are a fan of this show, if you have been listening to me over the last couple of years, you guys know that I usually do a big NFL coaching carousel episode. And now, excuse me, due to my voice, I have been unable to do that this year. But my goal is that because there is no NFL games next weekend on Thursday, next week's Thursday show is going to be dedicated to the NFL coaching carousel. I'll give you guys my thoughts on Mike Vrabel, Ben Johnson, Mike McCarthy, Aaron Glenn, all these teams that have head coaches, the teams that don't, etc. That is the plan for next Thursday's show. Now, let's get into the NFC and AFC championship games. Over in the NFC, led by 2024 number 2 overall pick, Jane Daniels. The Washington Commanders, who I predicted would have a very good season. If you remember, I predicted them to be 9-8 at the start of the season. I thought they had a very good chance uh, to make the playoffs. I was not concerned about the fact that they had a new owner. I was not concerned about the fact they had a new head coach. I was not concerned about the fact that they had a rookie quarterback. I thought with the stigma that Washington had over the past 15 years, it was actually going to be a good thing for them. And I did predict them to overtake the Dallas Cowboys as the number 2 team in the NFC East behind my Philadelphia Eagles. Now, did I think the Commanders were going to win 12 games this season and go on to win 14 games, including 2 playoff games? No, I did not. The Commanders have won 7 games this year at the buzzer, and they are a very talented team, but they are very limited defensively. A lot is on the plate of Jaden Daniels. And I talked to this with Austin Arnold, who you guys know is a friend of mine. He's a big Washington Commanders fan. As great as Jaden Daniels has been, nobody expected the Washington Commanders to be here. Now, I thought they had a good chance to potentially upset the Detroit Lions. I did not pick them, but I thought they matched them well against Detroit because of Detroit's lack of talent due to injuries on the defensive side of the ball. I think people are forgetting the fact that in week 16 in Washington, even though the Commanders did defeat the Eagles in that game, it took Jaden Daniels and the Commanders 22 points in the fourth quarter. It also took the Eagles losing Jalen Hurts due to a concussion, and the Commanders basically saying, okay, Kenny Pickett is not going to run the football. We are going to send 11 people at Saquon Barkley. And so here, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern, on Sunday afternoon, excuse me, with Kevin Burkhardt, with Tom Brady, with Tom Rinaldi, with Aaron Andrews, all the Fox crew gang, they're on the call. I believe this game comes down to the health of Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, who we saw obviously suffered a knee injury in that game against the Los Angeles Rams. The rumor out there is he may have a sprained PCL. He's going to try to play through it. The question will be obviously Jalen Hurts' mobility. As I just said, in week 16, that game changed in Washington once Jalen Hurts left the game. And the Commanders were able to stack the box against Saquon Barkley and dare Philadelphia to throw. A lot like Buffalo and Josh Allen, where, this year Buffalo, even though they have a superstar quarterback in Josh Allen, it's obviously very reliant on the run game with him and James Cook. In Philadelphia, yes, they have A.J. Brown. Yes, they have Devontae Smith. Yes, they have Dallas Goedert. But this offense goes as the offensive line, which is the biggest offensive line in football, and Saquon Barkley goes. Also, I think another key to this game will be obviously the Commanders watch right guard Sam Cosmi in that matchup against the Detroit Lions. How will they be able to block Jalen Carter, who I think in year two out of Georgia is already an unblockable defensive tackle, and he essentially might have saved, saved the Eagles' season um in the divisional round there against the Los Angeles Rams. So I think it really comes down to the line of scrimmage. Obviously, these two teams know each other very well. It's very fascinating when you watch two divisional teams match up for the third time. My prediction here is that Jalen Hurts is going to be mobile just enough to get the job done. The Eagles are favored by 6.5, just like against the Rams. I know we missed the cover by half a point against the Rams. They won by 6. I do think this is a little bit of a drag out, knockout fight. I'm going to say somewhere like 30-23, 27-20. I think Philadelphia, in the end, they are the more experienced team. They're the better overall talented team. Well, Jane Daniels has played better this year than Jalen Hurts, and the lack of Jalen Hurts' mobility is in question. Jalen Hurts will find a way to make winning plays. I believe Quentin Mitchell will play for the Eagles in this game. He will do a good job at neutralizing Terry McLaurin, and I like the Eagles to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. For the AFC side, what else could it be, right? Buffalo, Kansas City. 4 straight years. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Now, while Buffalo has done a great job against Kansas City this year, including being the only real team to defeat them in the regular season in week 11, that game was in Buffalo. And for my money, I truly believe that in order for Buffalo to win this game, they're going to have to run the football, control the clock, and not turn the football over. The Kansas City Chiefs have now gone 8 straight games without a turnover. Then some of it might be luck, but I do think some of it is just they're so efficient offensively, and they got out yarded against the Texans in the divisional round. So did Buffalo, by the way, against Baltimore. When it comes down to it against Kansas City, it's ultimately coming to go down to, can Buffalo possess the ball? Can they not turn the football over? Can Josh Allen make one more bigger play than Patrick Mahomes to sort of wrap it up and get Buffalo to the Super Bowl? I think Buffalo's past Kansas City demons come back to haunt them. And as I've said previously here, I do not think that until they do it and show me they can do it, Buffalo can go into Kansas City and win the game and beat the Chiefs. So I do think that we are going to have a rematch of Super Bowl 57 between the Eagles and the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. The Eagles are favored by 6.5. Kansas City is favored by 1.5. I do think they both cover. Now, as I said last week, because we only have 2 games to bet this week, I'm going to add a little bit more of some player prop parlays on the Brandon's best bets this week so that you can ensure that you get a bigger payout if you take my bet, because as we know, the less games, the less money you win. All of our odds, by the way, are provided by FanDuel. So with that in mind, my 5 best bets for conference championship weekend of the 2024 NFL season are: I like my Philadelphia Eagles to cover 6.5 to get to the Super Bowl to represent the NFC against the Washington Commanders. In that game, I also like a touch push, Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown. In the AFC championship game, I like Kansas City to cover the 1.5. We get a rematch of Super Bowl 57 between them and the Eagles against the Bills. In that game, I like Travis Kelce to have 40 yards receiving. I also like Josh Allen on a bobsled touch push S play for a anytime touchdown. Like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brandon's World podcast right here on YouTube.